I'm Dave Schenk, and this is my story.
Vision Radio Network presents My Story.
Home life for me is probably unusual, I guess, at best. My whole life revolves around one weekend of the year. And so we work all year towards 3 days. And so that definitely changes things at home. And the truth is I couldn't do what I do without a crazy amount of support from my wife and my kids. My wife Vanessa has been putting up with me doing production and event stuff now for probably the best part of 20 years, I guess. And has always just been so supportive. And I guess for us, we've always said, it's not just me who does it. I might be out there making things happen, but well and truly couldn't do it without that support. The other end of Easter, we get to bring a bit of balance back, and I'll go home early a little bit, spend a bit of more, when the kids are home from school, go home and spend time with them. So you get balance, you just don't get it necessarily in any given week. You get it over the course of time. I think the beginning for me in terms of production and events was doing 2 years of Bible college at Hillsong. And while I was there, I was just determined to get involved in everything I could get my hands on to just to get the most out of it that I possibly could. We worked hard, but there's such a great sense of community and camaraderie, I think, that gets built in those kinds of teams because you work so hard together and then you see the end result together that once you've tasted it, it's hard to let go of. I think my passion for Easterfest is in the name. We've always said Easterfest isn't just a festival at Easter, but it's a festival about Easter. And ultimately, I love the production stuff. I love all this infrastructure and making all this happen and seeing it come together. And the truth is that what really drives you through the hardest times and the biggest challenges is looking around and seeing people's lives being impacted by the message of Easter. I grew up as a Christian right from the very beginning. My whole life, I guess, I've been a Christian or in a Christian family. Spent a lot of my childhood years as a pastor's kid, actually, and so I guess in that sense, like a lot of people who've grown up in Christian families, it can sometimes be hard to pinpoint a moment. But then I guess you have some rough years as a teenager sometimes, and definitely there was a point, kind of when I was 19, at a guess, I'd say, where probably mostly courtesy of the prayers of my mum, who just faithfully believed for me that all would sort itself out, and that God would hold on to me, where God just kind of grabbed me by the scruff of the neck and dragged me back, and from that point forward, I guess haven't looked back too much. I think you keep your faith strong in the midst of something as crazy as Easterfest through community. It's relationship. Obviously, it's important to have that relationship, one-on-one with God, but I've got to tell you, in the busyness of something like this, finding very much kind of personal devotional time can have its challenges. It's incredibly important for me to have guys like Drew Valagis, who's full-time on our staff and one of my best friends. We've been best mates for 20 years. And guys like Bob Cavey and Tony Gear from our management team. And that's just to start, a few names. There are so many guys on our team who just are there to put a hand on the shoulder. We will regularly, when people are struggling, just stop in the middle of what we're doing and just pray for them, pray for each other. I don't know what the future holds, to be really honest. I could not have planned the last 10 years of my life if I'd tried. I'm excited about my family, obviously. Over the course of the next 5 or 10 years, I'm going to see my little girls, finish school and go off and become young ladies and adults. And so life will change at a family level. And I guess, we certainly feel like God's still got bigger things for Easterfest. And so we continue just to pursue His voice and try to be obedient to what we feel He's telling us with the festival. But if I had to pick one thing about the future, I'd have to say it's the uncertainty. I love it. I actually get excited about going, I don't know what God's got planned, but I know it'll be awesome, and I can't wait to see it unfold. I'm Dave Schenk, and that's my story.
My Story, captured at Easterfest 2013 by the team at Vision Radio Network.